Something I am asked all the time is, Kev, what Football Manager skin do you use? And for years, I've given a very confused, just the standard one as an answer, until I actually gave it some thought and decided to ask people why they were asking me, because I'm using the standard one. Surely if they're using vanilla Football Manager straight out of the box, they're using it too. You'd think they'd recognize it. But I asked and I found out that actually the reason people are asking is, despite me using the standard skin, my game often looks completely different to theirs. And now I know why, and I'm going to show you how to sort it. Hello folks, and welcome along to another video in what I guess is becoming a LOLLUJO frequently asked questions series. We've looked at how I do my corners. We're now looking at how I set up the game, both in terms of the skin I use in general play, and also one of the main questions I get asked: how do I get 6 panels on the matchday tablet? And the answer to both of those questions is the same thing. If you don't know what I mean, this is what I mean. This is what Football Manager looks like for me in game. This is just on the standard skin. I can show you in the preferences, just standard skin. I haven't ever downloaded any other fancy skins. It's just the standard one for me. But it is the standard skin with a little bit of a tweak, because I play on a 28-inch 4K monitor. So if I had Football Manager just zoomed to its standard 100% size, this is what it would look like. One moment, it's just going to take a moment to load up the new skin. I'll level with you. Thought it'd be quicker than this. So there you go. This is what the game looks like for me on just 100% standard zoom out of the box. As you can see, all the text is very, very small, too small for me to read, even on a big screen, and certainly too small for you to be able to read if you're watching on a phone, like a lot of you do. So in order to be able to see, I go into the preferences and adjust my zoom. And I adjust my zoom on my monitor to 125%. A little bit of trial and error led me to doing this, but I find, like I say, 28-inch 4K monitor, if I zoom to 125%, my game looks pretty good for me. I can see everything that's going on, and I also have a decent amount of data on the screen. But it was when I was doing this sort of trial and error, trying to work out what the perfect screen size is, that I realized why so many people were asking me about my skin. And it's because if you're playing on a laptop or a smaller monitor, some laptops don't even have a 1080p display. They'll be slightly lower than 1080p. And it's certainly rare to have a laptop that's going to give you a 4K display. So if you're playing on a smaller screen, it's effectively going to appear more zoomed. If your screen looks like the one I'm about to show you, and this is what I'm talking about. And I think this is what a lot of people are asking me what skin I'm using. I think this is what your game looks like. Looking a little bit more familiar for laptop users, you can see that we are much more zoomed in. The sidebar thing takes up more of the screen. Obviously, all the text is bigger, but crucially, we've lost some of the data that was on the screen. And this carries through to all screens. So we've only got 3 panels on here rather than 6. It'll also mean on the matchday tablet when we're in game, we're going to have a reduced number of panels available to us. So if you are looking for a way to add more panels, you basically just need to reduce your zoom. And that's how you solve this problem as well. So even if you are on a laptop, and depending on your screen size and your screen resolution, the actual zoom level that you need to go to will vary. Like I say, for me on my monitor, it's 125%. I've spoken to people who are playing on 1080p laptops who've said that dropping down to 85 or 90% can bring the 6 panels in onto the matchday tablet. But as part of doing that, it does also add more panels onto all of the other screens as well. So if we go back to my 125% zoom, i.e. my standard screen, you can see, there you go, it's actually 8 panel areas rather than 6, although I don't think you can do anything bigger with this one. But yeah, that's how you make the screen look like mine as a starting point. But the other way I have it customized, which again, it seems like a lot of people aren't necessarily aware of, is that you can change what is in all these boxes. They all have these little drop down boxes on them, and you can actually change what they show. So without adding a custom skin, you can customize the way your game looks so it suits you. And this is something that I always do kind of instinctively, automatically. When I first get Football Manager each year, I'll come on here and just customize each of the customizable screens to look the way that I want it to look. So player stats, I mean, we're at the end of a season here. This is my stream save. which you could be watching most nights, 7 p.m, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. We're having a lot of fun over there. Highlights on LOLLUJO too, every morning at 11 a.m. Lovely stuff. But this is where you'd have stuff like your top scorer, most assists, and this is where you have the team stats like winning runs and that kind of thing. But you can customize these boxes to show whatever you want. So if I want my medical center there rather than the league table, I can put my medical center in. I don't. I want my league table. If you're job hunting, you might find that it's more useful to have the list of insecure jobs on there at all times, so you can just keep an eye on what jobs are going to be available. Or you might want to know, if you're really into training, who's training well, who's not training so well, just at a glance all the time, rather than having to go in and look for it. One of the things that I struggle with, what was it I had on there? Team competitions, just because I like to know what my possible finish is. That's why I like this on there. I struggle a little bit with promises at the moment. I keep messing them up, which is why I've got promises on there as an active thing, so I can quickly at a glance see what my active promises are. But I could just as easily change that to an update on what my scouts are up to if I'm really focused in on scouting. I can put my match preparation on there if that's something. You get the idea. There's so much. You can even have an inbox preview. Why you would want to do that when you have a whole separate inbox screen, I don't know. But there's so much customization you can do on this screen that you can make all of the data that you want available to you on your homepage without having to skin the game. Like I say, I've been playing this game for 25 plus years. I have never downloaded a skin. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you maybe don't need to, because you can do a lot of this customization in game. And this isn't the only screen that you can do it on. Another area where I like to have a fiddle around is on the player screen. In particular, again, at my resolution, if you're playing on a smaller resolution, there'll be less data on here to begin with. But as a standard, it usually has the player biography just there, which I don't find particularly useful. So I always change this screen to put the attribute analysis on, because at a glance, I quite like the attribute analysis. I don't really look at the attribute numbers, but I look at the attribute analysis thing to give me an idea of, right, this guy is quite quick. Speed is his best area. So I'll want to use him in an area where speed is going to be good. For example, in fact, if I wasn't making content for YouTube and I wasn't afraid of what the comment section would say, I would probably even set that up to be an attribute analysis and maybe put that comparison on there and not have the attributes on screen at all. So you can hide attributes just within the base skin. So I've got my attribute analysis, and then I've got my comparison of how this player is star rating wise compared to the rest of the players in my squad. So you can see he's my 5th best right back. He's quite quick. That's enough information for me, really, but I know the comment section would go through the roof if I decided to do that. But you can, again, you've got all these panels down here that you can customize and set each of these screens to show you exactly what you want it to show you. It's all customizable. And I don't think people know that, which is why people get confused and think I'm using a skin, but I'm not. It is all customizable on here. And then the other things I do to customize stuff up, obviously I use my own squad views. So these are available to download on the Steam Workshop. I think you just get the standard one that looks like that. With my squad view, you have something that gives me all the data that I want when looking at my squad. Again, if you're playing on a smaller resolution, it might not all display on screen at the same time. But what you can do if that's an issue is just right click anywhere in that bar, auto size the columns, auto size all columns, and it will do its best to make it fit on whatever resolution you're playing at if you haven't given yourself more screen real estate by playing with your zoom. But I recommend you do that anyway. I've got a similar thing on my schedule screen where I've just added a few extra bits on here as well. There's so much in Football Manager that is customizable. You just have to play around with it and see what you can customize and make the game set up so that it works the way you want it to work. But the other key thing that I will show you through the magic of editing, so I'm not going to play a match now, because like I say, this is my stream save and I'm not going to play a match not on stream because the Twitch viewers will get upset. But using the magic of editing, we should now have a screen that shows my matchday tablet with the 6 panels on there. This is what I'm talking about when I say 6 panels. And if you make your screen resolution further zoomed in, you will lose some of those panels and only be able to get 2 or 4 depending on your screen resolution. So if you're looking to get more screen resolution, or if you're looking to be able to get more of these panels to play with, preferences, zoom, or scaling, they call it. Preferences, scaling is your friend. That's where you want to be messing around. And if you want to really deep dive on this, goodness me, there's so much stuff you can get stuck into when you actually really get deep diving in here, you can make your sidebar so it's only icons. Hold on. There you go. It's only icons now. I am too old to understand icons. I hate that, so I leave mine like that. But there's so much you can mess around with. You can even change the colors of the attributes and things, so you can see, depending on how good a player is, their attributes are colored differently. You can change that in the preferences as well. There's colorblind modes even in the preferences now. So there's so much that you can customize. And somehow we've ended up with, oh no, because I've resized so many times, it's messed up my own home screen. This is a nightmare. I've got to fix that before I stream again because I've ruined that. It looks horrible. Is that what it is as standard? No wonder you all think I'm using a skin. That's horrible. But yeah, that's what I'm doing to give the appearance that I'm using a different skin to you, when in fact, it is just the vanilla skin that is in the game, and it is just a case of messing around with the options that we've got in there. Hopefully that has answered your question. If it has helped, make sure you leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, all that stuff, so you don't miss out on all the future content. We do daily videos here, and if there are other things you'd like me to put into a channel FAQ, that basically it's the stuff that comes up in the comments or in stream chat a lot. I'm trying to make these videos to just basically answer those questions so I don't have to keep answering those questions. But if there's other stuff that you've always felt like you wanted to know about my videos, let me know down in the comments, and I'll probably make a future video on them if enough of you ask. Thanks for watching, folks. And like I say, make sure you check out the daily videos. Toodle pip. Bye-bye.